Back in the 5th grade, I started my guitar playing journey with an acoustic guitar. I really hope they're not still doing those mandatory lessons because nothing made me hate the guitar more. My friends and I would spend the majority of class trying to pop a string by tuning up as high as we possibly could. About a decade later, I am back playing the acoustic guitar, starting off with a staple in the acoustic community, neon. There it is. There it is. Big open. Nope. Nope. There it is. But I'm getting there. Given John Mayer's track record, it's no surprise that he hopped on an interview to call neon a circus trick. Oh yeah, I feel bad because I wrote that riff as kind of a circus trick and now everyone spends their lives trying to get the riff right. It's such a John Mayer thing to say. He basically wrote this riff to catch the attention of others and surely it worked. Neon has a cult-like following on the internet. It's become notorious for its technicality and obscurity. Easily the most debated part of this song is the right hand technique. The chord shapes are relatively simple, just as long as you get this gallopy, funky picking technique in the back. Learning new things on guitar will never not be an enjoyable experience for me, but do I have to remind you of the last time I picked up an acoustic? This instrument and I just got off on the wrong foot. I think this hatred, well not hatred, it's just like I would rather play an electric guitar. This whole thing probably stemmed from that first experience in middle school. I didn't fall in love with the guitar until many years later, and that was with the electric. So my playing style has adapted to thinner strings, you know, a heavier instrument that can plug in rather than this airy piece of nonsense. I mean, I don't get the big deal. Sure, the strings are harder to play and you can't really bend on an acoustic, but those are knobs. This thing can plug in. And the list of musicians who preferred an acoustic guitar goes on for miles. You got Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash. All the greatest songwriters prefer this instrument here. Just like an electric guitar and the amp you choose and the pedals you use, everything matters on an acoustic. I just got into Jimi Hendrix sooner than I did Bob Dylan. When progressing on the guitar, you need to start small. And I started to realize that neon was gonna be a massive project to tackle. I put this tune on the back burner and started with something a little bit more foundational. Now let's see if I can keep up with Billy's strings. I mean, the man's got strings in his name. He's gotta be good. I'm curious, what do you look for in a good musician? Is it their singing voice or is it their chops? What compelled me to learn Billy's strings today is his bluegrass licks. Those searing fills in between each chord change. Irresistible. So yeah, 1-4-5 with the G as the 1. My regular practice routine started to take over and I was just hopping from video to video, picking up what licks I could in the moment. Faking it pretty much, just running through the major pentatonic scale. I soon realized that learning the fastest bluegrass lick wasn't gonna make me a good acoustic guitar player. I hopped on some online lessons. I'm gonna start my first Fender Play lesson. Fender advertises the hell out of this lesson course. You buy a Stratocaster in 2024, odds are you're gonna see a little hanger with Fender Play, 3 months free trial on it. But what I didn't realize was how beginner oriented this website is. We're learning triplet strumming. That's what I think when I think triplets. Instead, we're doing 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1. One of the lessons was Something in the Way, but they were playing a simplified version of Something in the Way. So that should give you a good gauge on how beginner friendly this website is. Okay, that's the D major scale. Rather than a video lesson, Fender has text, and this is how to strum like a pro. Most of the motion should be coming from your wrist. Strum a chord and look to see if this is happening. If the wrist is too rigid, it can create a harsh tone for your strumming. There's nothing bad in this lesson. I mean, they're telling me to strum lightly, angle my pick when I strum, which is very good advice. I agree. The most complicated skill course at level 7 is a movable C7 chord. That's a C7, and if you want to move it, I'm already doing better than Fender Play, astronomically better. Back in middle school, one of the things we had to learn was E, A, D, G, B, E. My teacher came up with some nursery rhyme to help us remember it, but this is what the lady's doing here. She's helping us remember the D major scale. If I could critique this lesson, I would add like maybe a simple chord progression so that the student could learn how to play the D major scale over a chord progression. Because let's be honest, the D major scale sounds super lame on its own. Fender has my credit card number forever now. Tyler Larson saying, peace out, brother.
We're gonna do some Hendrix sounding stuff. I also pull out my 12 string for a little bit.
He mentioned Hendrix, I gotta buy it. Are you happy? Last time I put Marty in the thumbnail and I didn't play Marty, so I'm doing this for you, okay? Now, because this is a paid lesson, I'm not allowed to show you actual footage. Basically, this whole thing is divided up by chapters, and Marty starts off with an acoustic blues. He's definitely trying to recreate that one Hendrix video where Jimmy's playing the 12th string, but essentially he's doing the... If you're a beginner going into this, you definitely are not starting out with a 12th string guitar, right? Am I crazy here? I gotta say though, he's got a lot of content on here. 35 chapters, 5 hours of content, and we didn't deviate from the key of E once. Oh man, I'm seriously regretting my life decisions. A 12-bar blues is a 3-chord progression. You got the 1, the 4, and the 5. As you probably expected, I skipped ahead. The progression we made was, you know, E minor pentatonic blues licks. I'm putting myself into the headspace of a younger me. Obviously, the E minor pentatonic blues scale in that open position, mint. You could just easily find this content on YouTube. I don't know what I expected. It's Marty Schwartz. It's tailored to the beginner guitar player. Fuck. I was so upset with myself for purchasing this garbage, I unironically started to play the blues. You know, maybe Marty's lesson worked. Although I have to give a huge shout out to my family friend Captain Frank for loaning me this guitar. It's an Alvarez Yari from the year 1986, and it's made in Japan, made of amazing quality. It was a joy to play. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Quite honestly, I found it hard to follow up a video as massive as the YouTube play button guitar. That was a dream come true, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't checked that out yet. But regardless, I got more ideas, more videos coming up in the future. I'm gonna try my best to get those out ASAP. Yeah, thanks. Smash like, subscribe. I really appreciate you.
Wow, dude. Oh my gosh, it's a bloody nightmare up in here.